What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us again today. We're going to be taking a look at another Go project. We're going to be looking at building a tracker for some runs. I'm about to start running again. It's getting a bit warmer, so it's a bit nicer to be outside, but not too warm yet that, I will combust in the sunlight. So, I'm going to build up a little app here that's going to allow me to log my runs and give me a few statistics to help keep me motivated as I go. So if you want to join in, code along with me, let's go for it. So first thing we're going to do is just our basic setup. So we'll declare that we are in our main package. Main package. Perfect. We'll do some imports for the libraries we are going to be using. So buff.io for our inputs, fmt so we can print stuff out, os so we can interact with the system. We're going to do some string handling, so string conv, and we're going to be dealing with date time, so we're going to add in time. Alright, let's set up the structure for how we're going to engage with a run. So how do we consider a run? So we're going to type run, and we'll give it a structure of struct of date, which is going to be a time. No, tade, no, time, perfect, time.time. A distance, which we'll just do as a 64-bit float, and how long it took, so a time, which we'll also do as a float, 64. Awesome. Now we've got our run as a basic object structure. We'll set up a function main. We'll just initiate a blank array for this. So we'll make so runs, make blank array of runs. 0. Perfect. All right. Now, let's look at our logging function first. So set up a function for that. Getting funky, log, run. And we'll add in our runs. Excellent. Now within that, we're going to say, hey, when was the date of your run? So format, print, enter run date, and we'll suggest the format, which we will later enforce, of year, month, date, and then we'll set up a scanner so that we can actually take that input. Scanner, buffer, input output, new scanner, OS standard input, perfect. Scanner dot scan, because scanner's got a scan, and we will store that input as date string. Scanner.text, so we grab the input, store it as that variable. Now we're going to pass that variable into a date format. So we'll go that, create a date variable, capture any errors, say time.pass. We'll set our format that we want it to adhere to, so 2006, 01, 02, and date string. So doing that parsing, we're going to be able to capture errors if it doesn't adhere to the formatting that we have specified. And we'll say if there's an error. So if error does not equal nil, we want to say print line invalid date. Excellent, and then we're done. Out of the function. Now, if there isn't an error, let's now capture how far we run. So enter run distance, and I use metric, so we will add it as kilometers. You can use miles or whatever you would like, centimeters, millimeters, inches, light years. Scanner dot scan. We'll capture that as distance, and we're going to convert that to our float format. So capture any errors. We'll say string convert parse float scanner text 64-bit, and if there's an error, so if error does not equal null, nil, we will say that the distance is not valid. Print line invalid distance. Return. Alright, so we've captured the date, we've captured the distance. We're going the distance, we're going for speed, so we need the time. Format print enter run time in minutes. Scanner scan, and we'll say our run time error will go no string convert, pass that as a float as well, pass float scanner.text, and we're doing a 64-bit as well. Excellent. And we'll check for errors in that as well. So if error is not equal nil, we'll say invalid time. Having a bad time. Alright. Sounds like when I'm running. I don't enjoy running. Alright. Then, we've got our run time, we've got our distance, we've got our date. They've got our red squigglies because we don't do anything with them yet. So let's do something with them. Let's grab our runs array, and we're going to append our runs, the run, date, distance, and runtime. And we'll say print line run has been logged. Awesome. All right. So we have now successfully logged our runs. Let's maybe do our statistical analysis of how amazing we are as runners, because honestly, As I said, I am not big on running. Sometimes it's tolerable, sometimes I hate every minute of it. But the thing that tends to motivate me is the numbers associated with it, because I'm a nerd. And also, I think just putting metrics against things is a great way to motivate yourself in pretty much anything. So if length of runs is 0, well then we haven't run anywhere yet, so go print line no runs logged, get some miles in, even though we're measuring in kilometers. Return. Alright. Next, let's calculate our... Wow. Let's set some variables. We're going to go variable for total distance. That'll be a float 64. And we'll go total time. Float 64. We'll iterate through our runs to calculate these out. So run range runs. So it's going to loop through our runs array, and each one will be referred to as an individual run. Total distance plus equals, so we're just going to do a cumulative total run distance and total time plus equals run time. Excellent. Now this has given us a little missing comma. Okay. Yep. Cool. I'm using the wrong brackets, braces, parentheses, things. We want the squigglies. We don't want the curved. I don't know. Awesome. So, if you're not familiar with plus equals, it's the same as going total distance equals total distance plus run distance. So you're taking whatever this value was before and just adding a new value to it. So this will start as 0, nothing, and for each run we're going to add on the distance for each item within the array, the distance and the time. Then we can do something with those numbers. So we can put in like an average speed, and our average speed is going to be our total distance by our total time divided by 60. And then start printing some of these details out. Print, we'll go printf, so we can add some variables in there. We go /n total runs %d /n, and then %d is going to be our length of runs array, so that's how many runs we have done in totality. We are gonna have, why is that squiggly? Why does it not like runs? Ah, runs. Yep, there we go. What else do we want to put in? We want to put in our total distance format, print f total distance set that as total distance. Now this percentage 0.2f here, so we're saying, hey, we want to put in a variable, which is going to be our total distance. 0.2 is because, whoa, is because we want to have it to 2 decimal places, and then the f is because it's a float. Same as d up here is for an integer. I'm guessing it's d for digit. We've got Boolean, it's t, character is c, hexadecimal is x. Alright, what else have we got to put in here? Let's do our total time spent running. Printf total time. We'll do that as a float to 2 decimal places as well. We'll say that one as minutes. Total time. Awesome, and then we're going to print out our average speed. And yeah, it's going to be a floating point number as well. To 2 decimal places. Set in kilometers per hour. And average speed variable. Awesome. Alright. And that's going to be our view stats function. Now, all this is fantastic. But, unless we're going to leave this running forever in the background, just as an open terminal, if you want to do that, that's fine. You can just keep everything stored in an array. But let's assume our computer's going to get turned off now and then. Let's save and load some runs, okay? So I'll set up a function for save runs. We'll take in our runs array. File writer, first create runs.txt, if error does not equal nil, we want to say there's an error saving, so format print line cannot save runs, and then we'll put in our error and return. So we drop out. Now if we are successfully able to open it, we'll say defer file close. So once we've returned the function, we will close the file on our way out. And let's iterate through our runs array. So for run range runs. So as we loop through all the runs, we'll have each run singular. And for each one, we're going to write a string. So go f.write string. Format sprint. So sprintf. Percentage s for string. We're going to do our percentage 0.2f for our floating point number, and we'll do another one of those, 0.2f, and the next line Now, need to populate those. So we're going to comma, run, date, format, excellent. And go run dot distance, and now run dot time. Perfect. Almost perfect. Perfect-ish. Inspired by the concept of perfect. There we go. Cool. I think we should be good there. Got a squiggly line here. So we're missing a comma. Alright, that's probably because that needs to be closed off, because it was considering that as the end of the string. Cool. Alright, next up we'll do some error handling. So, if there's an error, error is not nil. We want to say we can't save runs. So format, print line, cannot save runs. The error message, nope, that's, yep, there we go. And return. And if we're otherwise successful, and go that the runs are saved. So print line runs saved. Excellent. Alright, so that should handle all of our saving of the runs, or letting us know there's an issue saving the runs. So if we can save them, we need to load them. So, function run, load runs. And try and open the file now. ls.open runs.txt. If there's an issue, then we will create a blank array. We'll assume that either the file doesn't exist or that there's nothing in it. Not the most elegant, but not the least. We will defer our closing for when the function is returned. Set up a new scanner. So we've used scanner before as a variable, but when we create and assign in a single move like this, it's function specific. So we don't need to worry about a new name each time or conflicts between the values. And we're going to set up a buffer, input output, new scanner with the file reader in it. I'm going to put our red squiggly there because we haven't used scanner yet. So for scanner scan, we want to fields string split scanner text. Let's grab out our date. I'm going to pass it as a time field. 2 and fields 0, because it's going to be the first thing in that line. If there's an error, we're going to say error loading runs. So if error does not equal nil, print line. Not going well for me right now. Print line, error, loading, runs, and we'll spit out the error code. And then, if we can't do it, we might as well just make that blank array that we did before. So we'll copy that from here, we'll put that here. This is probably going to be our default. Hey, there's something wrong, so let's grab that. Alright, so we've grabbed our date, let's grab our distance. We'll pass that as a float. That will be our next field. And we'll say it's a 64-bit float because that's what we've set it as. Alright, we good there? Yep, that looks good. If there's an issue, boom, same as before, we'll just say, hey, cool, you know what, let's just set a blank array. Next one we're going to do is time. And for time, pretty much same as above, we're going to set it as a 64-bit float. String convert, pass, float. It's going to be the next item in our array, field 2, and 64-bit. Perfect. If there's an issue, boom, same as before, just create a blank array. Then we're going to append everything to our runs array. So run equals append runs run, and then date, distance, time. Perfect. And then return runs. No, it wants to be runs. That looks better. Okay. We're all good here. I think we're missing something. Got our runs here with a red squiggly. We haven't initialized what runs is before we enter into our loop. Let's set up an array. No, not an array. Yeah, an array. Runs array. It's an array of type run. Excellent. Alright. That looks much nicer. Strings showing red squiggly. I don't think we've imported strings. We haven't. Let's import strings. Excellent. Okay. Go down. We'll yell timber. Perfect. Okay. That looks like a much happier function now. We've got that set up. What's going to be next? I think the next bit is just going to be our main function to actually tie it all together. So in a main function, rather than having this make a blank run array, go load runs, because when we jump down into our load runs function, if it can't find or open this file, it's going to do the same by just making a blank runs array. So we no longer need that. Now let's sort out our menu. 4. Oh yeah. we'll give ourselves a little header. So format, print line. Let's call this the go run. Because it's telling us to, well, it's motivating us to go and run. And also it's written in Go, so, you know, take the pun when it's given to you, alright? The first menu item is going to be log a run. Next is going to be to view your stats. Line. I think I'm going to copy and paste that because I seem to be having a lot of trouble typing it, and also we're going to be doing this a lot. 3 save runs and 4 exit. Okay. Got that set up. Now we need to set up a scanner for an input. No, first. Just want a regular print, not a print line, so it doesn't drop down a line. Choose your option. Now we'll set up our scanner. Now the reason why we use print instead of print line there is because print line will automatically drop down a line at the end of it. We want this to take an input right next to the word choose your option because it just looks cleaner and nicer in my opinion. So buff.io new scanner OS standard inputs. We'll tell our scanner to scan. Option is going to be what we take from that. So we'll take the scanner text, and then we'll set up a switch statement to handle that option. So switch option case 1. So if they've entered 1, we want to call the log run function. Runs. And case 2, we want to view stats, our runs. Case 3, we want to save our runs. Then case 4, we want to break out of our loop, so we'll just return. And if someone's done something other than that, default, format, print line, nope, try a valid input. Excellent. Alright, just the right levels of sass. Now, missing that. So when we take a look at our switch statement here, when we're saving a run we use ampersand runs, otherwise we've just used regular old runs. Now what's the difference? When we use ampersand runs, we're actually sending a pointer to the original entity of runs, or the original array of runs. When we just send runs, we're sending a copy of runs. So we can look at it, it can make changes, but it only changes it in that copy. When we send it with the ampersand, so we send the pointer, we're actually changing the original, the OG. And we do that with case 1 because we're making changes, we're adding to the array. Whereas when we say view stats, we're really just looking at the array. We're doing some calculations based on it. We don't necessarily want to impact the original data. Same as save runs. We're not doing anything with it other than saving a copy of it to a text file. So we don't actually need to be able to interact with the original. Let's try it out. Let's see how we go. So we're here in our shell and we'll type go run main go, because we called it main.go. Actually, this is showing up if there's an error. What's our error? Error is on pass. Oh, we didn't use a capital P. Got to use the capitals. Very important. Case sensitive. What's our warning up here? Yep, that's fine. Alright. Let's jump in here. Let's give it a run. Boom. Hey, this is a strong start. I like this. Alright, so let's view our runs, see if that's working properly. No runs log, get some miles in. Heck yes, I'm all about that. Log a run. Let's lie and pretend we've just done a run. Alright, today is in the year 2024, it is the 9th month and it is the 30th day. How far do we run? I'm going to try and run about 4Ks later at lunch. How long did we do that in? I'm pretty slow. It's probably going to take me about 40 minutes. Run has been logged. Alright, let's view our stats. We've got a total of 1 runs. We've run a total of 4 kilometers. We have run an average of... No, we've run a total time of 40 minutes and we've run an average speed of 6 kilometers an hour, which honestly is a brisk walk, and given the timing's fairly accurate, I feel bad about myself, but that's beside the point. The run tracker appears to be working, but that's only part of it. Let's save our runs. Excellent, runs saved. Let's exit out. Perfect. Let's run it again. And let's view our runs. So we will view our stats. Perfect, still there. I've unintentionally used a semicolon here, but that's okay. Let's add another run. Let's use the wrong formatting. Let's say that's the 30th of the 9th, 2024. Invalid date. Let's log another run. Let's log it on the right date, 2024, 9th month, 30th day. Let's say we run 3Ks, and suddenly I've gotten better, so we're running in half the time. Runs logged, view the stats. I've now got 2 runs logged, total distance 7Ks, total time running 60 minutes, average speed 7 kilometers an hour. If you've liked this video, drop a like, leave a comment, say g'day. Hopefully you've learned something. If you've got any questions, if you've done this, it's not working, if my maths is actually terrible and you want to correct me, please do. Feel free to dislike it if you think I suck or you hated this video. You can leave that as a comment as well. I think there's no such thing as bad feedback. I think there's plenty of learning opportunities. If you want to keep up to date with what's going on this channel, please subscribe, hit the little bell icon to stay really up to date, get notifications. And yeah, any support is really appreciated. I'm still fairly new to this, still working out this whole YouTube thing. And until next time, have a good one.